morning, my friends. Today we are learning how to use the skills we've been working on all year so far to analyze an assessment. So we've been working on being good readers and good thinkers and thinking about reading so that once we are put in a situation also to show our knowledge, we have the skills to really analyze, which means, again, to break apart and break down a text so that we can understand what we're reading and then how to answer the questions. So each week you will have there are 2 assessments each unit that we will do and work on in preparation for your unit assessments. Okay, so your unit assessment is very similar to the one that you did for the beginning of the year assessment, and they are a little difficult. So we want to make sure you guys have the skills you need to be successful. Just like we analyze and break apart our word problems in math, we've been using cubes to do that. We do that with questions for a story. Now, we usually go to the questions first. That's what we encourage you to do. The reason for that is that if I already know the questions I'm going to have to answer while I'm reading, I will hear some of those answers, and it saves you work. It makes the process quicker, it makes it easier, and it makes your brain have to work a little bit less hard, so to speak. So we really want to work on how to do that. And when we do that, we look at the questions. We read the questions and we identify what the author of the test or the test maker is asking us to find. Okay? So looking at number 1. Number 1 says, which of these events belongs in a summary of the first part of the story? So I am looking for an event. Normally we'd be doing this with highlighters and pencils in class. An event and a summary from the first part of my story. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do. That's it. I'm moving on to the next question. We don't want to spend a lot of time here reading everything and overworking your brain. The idea is that you guys get very quick at this, and you'll believe us when we tell you it will help you work smarter, not harder, and it will actually make your test taking time take less because your brain's already now looking for an event in the first part of the story that would go in a summary. Number 2, which phrase, I'm looking for a phrase, which is a group of words, gives a clue to the meaning of the word demolition. So they're not asking us what demolition means. They're actually asking us for the phrase that gives a clue. Maybe I should highlight clue too, because that's taking me to the understanding that I'm looking for what helped me, the context clue, that helped me figure out that word. Number 3. This question has 2 parts. First, answer part A. Friends, this is so important that we follow our instructions, okay? So answer part A first, then answer part B. Part A, what can the reader infer? Infer means I use the clues in the story, I use my brains and what I already know to understand something. Okay, so it's like an educated guess. What can I infer about Nina? Now, after I have decided what I can infer about Nina based on the text, I am going to go to the passage and I'm going to look for the detail that best supports what I just said. So you are, again, providing text evidence to support your answer. We've been talking about that, oh my gosh, like forever, right? So this never is going to go away. I'm going to now go find that detail that I use to support, just like we did yesterday in class, to support my answer. I'm going to prove it to you that I know I'm right. In paragraph 3, I always like my kids to highlight where I'm looking for my answer because obviously that saves me time. The word great is pronounced with the same vowel sound as which one of these words. So you're going to have to say these words and listen for the same vowel sound that's in great. I hear the long A, great. Okay, this one is a little bit of a tricky question. You're going to have these all the time. It's telling you that you have to choose 4 of the sentences below. 4, not 1, not all, 4. And you're going to have to put them in order. Now, friends, I don't know if you remember back when we were talking about our annotating marks, our editing marks while we're reading, but one of those in the front of your book says while you're reading, number them 1, 2, if you're looking for sequence. This question tells me I'm looking for sequence. This is why it's important we read the question first. If I know I have to look for sequence while I'm reading my story, I can go ahead and start numbering them. Oh, look, first 1, this happened. Then, 2, this happened. And when you go back to this question will not be as difficult, okay? So I want 4 sentences that belong in a summary. So I'm back to summarizing. Remember, we've worked on summarizing also already this year. Summarizing is a short retell. I can't find a place to put my face where it's not in the way. Okay. Then it says put them in time order. That means put them in order. From 1 being the first thing that happened to number 4 being the last thing to happen. And by the way, 2 of these events will not be used because you're only doing 4 and they gave you 6. Okay, friends, so this is a very chunky question. It's got a lot of information, which is why it's important that we analyze. Okay, I'm choosing 4 of the 6, only 4, that I would put in a summary. Who did what, when, where, why. Those basic informations that we look for in a story. The basic, not those. And then the correct order they happened. All 6 of these events will probably, I'm pretty sure, I haven't actually done this one yet, it's been a whole year since I've done it, are in your story. So it's not that there's something in here that's like, oh, that didn't happen. It's going to happen. But you're going to have to think. Is that something that I would put in a summary? Is that an important key detail? Or is that just a regular old detail? Okay? You're going to have to think. All right, move my face back up. All right, now number 6 says, what does Nina's dad, that's telling me which character I'm going to pay attention to, think will happen as a result? So what does he think will happen as a result of taking down the dam? So I'm going to just chunk these words up a little. Taking down the dam. So we're looking for like cause and effect here, my friends. If they take down the dam, what will the effect be? What will happen? What does he think? In paragraph 9, what does the word fret mean? Make sure to use your context clues. Really go back the sentence before it, reread that, maybe read the sentence after. Plug the words here into paragraph 9 where the word fret is and ask yourself, does that make sense? Okay, if I say I don't want my horse to fret over the storm, and I plug in fret or plug argue into fret. I don't want my horse to argue over the storm. Does that make sense? No. Okay? Plug the word in. Ask yourself, does it sound right? Does it make sense? And the last question says paragraph 10. The A in the word happens, we have a short A sound, is pronounced like the A in which of these words? So you're going to have to be able to read these words, listen to your vowel sound, and find the match. Okay? Again, this is going to get easier for you. It will. I promise it'll get faster, and you're going to start seeing how easy it makes finding answers for your questions when you already have your brain listening for these keywords we've highlighted. So this will already be done for you. I'm going to leave it highlighted. And then later, Miss Corbin is going to read your passage with you, and she's going to show you how to annotate your passage, just like we've been doing all week in our reading text, okay? You're going to do the same thing. Every time you're reading a passage, you're going to do the same thing. And then you guys will go off on your own to answer the questions. Have a wonderful Friday.